Okay, this is topic 2, classified paper 4, page 41. Paper 4. Table shows the melting point, the boiling point, and electrical properties of 6 substances from A to F. Paper 4, topic 2. Different substances are there, their melting points. What? I will tell at the last end. Melting point and the boiling points are shown. Electrical conductivity at room temperature and electrical conductivity for a substance dissolved. Which 3 substances are solid at room temperature? Whenever a room temperature in the question, whenever a room temperature is there, you will consider room temperature to be 25 degrees centigrade or Celsius. So where if the temperature is between the melting and the boiling point, the substance will be liquid. If a temperature is before the melting point, it will be a solid, and temperatures after the boiling point, it will be a gas. So what is the state of substance A? Where 25 will lie, so 25 will be here. So what will the state? Solid. What about substance B? 25 will be here. Solid.
Solid.
What
Yeah,
about substance?
solid.
Yes. So where 25 will lie between 0 and 100, so that will be solid. Oh, sorry, liquid.
Sir,
You said solid, that's why I said.
I said liquid, sir.
Okay.
Sir, sir.
803 and 1465, so this will be 25, so this will be solid. What about this one?
Gas.
Where 25 will come? Here.
Gas.
Liquid. The temperature at which we are finding a state
Liquid.
is between the melting and the boiling point, so it will be liquid.
Yeah.
What about this substance? Where 25 will lie?
Gas.
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 So it will be 25. Good. That's gas. So these are, so they ask which 3 substances are solid. So which 3 of them are solid? So one is A, B, and D. Okay. Yes.
Where did we get the 25 from?
Where we get a 25 whenever they ask a question that a room temperature. So what we will take a room temperature? 25.
What about to take away for is it okay?
It's okay.
And sir, how do we know if a substance is a good electrical conductor?
That depends on the type of a substance. Like example, if it's a metal, it will conduct electricity in solid state only and molten as well. If it is a ionic compound in solid, it won't conduct, but in aqueous it will conduct. And if it is a covalent substance, it will not conduct. And if it's a giant covalent, it will also not conduct, but it will have a high melting and a boiling point. Except graphite. Which one is an ionic compound? Which one is an ionic compound? So what are the characteristics of the ionic compound? Ionic compound does not conduct electricity in solid, but it can conduct electricity in molten or aqueous. And ionic compound are solid at room temperature. Okay. So we have to check because all ionic compounds are solid at room temperature. So we have to check between A, B, and D only. We don't bother about C, E, and F because ionic compounds at room temperature are solid. So what about this one? The A, it is conducting electricity at a room temperature, so it cannot be an ionic compound. Ionic compound, because they have a lattice of oppositely charged ions, and these ions are not free to move in a solid state. That's why ionic compound cannot conduct electricity in a solid state. So it cannot be A. What about B? What about B? It does not conduct, does not dissolve as well, so it's also wrong. And even if you see that it has a low melting point,
But the answer is A, right?
the ionic compound should have a high.
What is the question, sir? Which one?
Question is which of the compound is ionic? So we can check only between A, B, and D. So what about D? It has a high melting and a boiling point. It does not conduct electricity in solid, but can conduct electricity when dissolved in water. So D is the right answer. So the correct answer for this one is D. Which one is a gas at room temperature? Which one is gas at room temperature?
Yes. Sir, there is a lot. No, there is
F.
one only. It's E. Sir, E. Sir, E, right? No, not E.
All of these files I have shared on the group. These all documents I have shared on the group. So I will tag so you can download them again.
F. Sir, F.
Which one is gas at room temperature? So that is F. Which two substances are liquid? Which two substances are liquid?
Liquid.
Which two substances are liquid?
C and E.
C and E. For this one, for second part, which one is ionic compound? Why we selected D? Because what are the characteristic of ionic compound? The ionic compound will have a high melting point.
Fine.
They will have a high boiling point. They are not able to conduct electricity in a solid because the ions are not free. But in molten or aqueous, it can conduct electricity. So all these properties description match with the ionic compound. That's why this is an ionic compound. Which substance is the metal? So what are the characteristics of the metal? Metal is a solid at room temperature and it can conduct electricity in solid state and it is insoluble in water, does not dissolve in water. So high melting point,
A.
good conductor. So this is and does not dissolve. So these are the characteristics of the metal. So A is a metal.
Nothing but a look at nothing but than boiling room.
Yes, but you can right. Yes.
What easier, not hard.
Work smarter than
Yeah.
work easier. Which one is an impure substance? What is the characteristic of impure substance? So when a substance is impure, it has a range
E.
of a
It is E.
good. E is the right answer because it has a range of a melting and a boiling point. Like it does not melt or boil at a fixed temperature. It will melt or boil at a range of temperature. So when a substance is impure, it does not have a fixed melting or a sharp melting or a boiling point. So if we summarize, what is A? A was a metal. What is B?
Yes.
B is a
Liquid.
no.
Solid.
No, I'm not asking about state. I'm saying type of a compound. So B is a simple molecular compound. Why I said simple molecular? Because it does not conduct electricity, does not dissolve, but it has a low melting point. So that's why it is a simple molecular. What about C? Also simple molecular. What about D? D we identified was ionic.
Ionic.
What about E? What about
Impure.
E?
Simple.
So E is also
Impure.
E is an impure substance. It's an impure substance, so it can be a mixture. And a mixture does not have a characteristic. Like example, water is not a good conductor of electricity, but if you add salt to water, it starts to conduct electricity. So impure substance does not have a unique properties. They have variation in the properties. So it's an impure substance. It might be a mixture of ionic or a covalent compound. It might be a mixture of two covalent compounds or two ionic compounds. What about F? It's also a simple molecular. How we identify low melting point, low boiling point, and does not conduct and does not dissolve. Clear?
This is one.
Classified paper 4, topic 2. Okay. You can annotate on the screen. Use screen annotation to complete this. First, the identity of the element is a proton number. So in exam, you will have the periodic table. So you will identify the element. You will identify the element from the proton number in the periodic table. Only the proton number, losing a rest because it might be isotope given in the question. So only using a proton number, you identify the element. So which element in the periodic table has a proton number 11? That is sodium. Good. First, we will write the symbol. Which element in the periodic table has a proton number 18? Later, we'll complete the charges and the nucleon numbers. Argon. Which element in the periodic table?
Sir, I give up.
Which element in the periodic table has a proton number 15? Phosphorus. And which element? That is 13. Now in this one, you can see the nucleon number is given at the top. The nucleon number is given at the top and the proton number is at the bottom. So you have to follow the same trend. Some questions, they give you the nucleon number at the bottom and the proton number at the top. But here in this one, you have a nucleon number on the top. Nucleon number is the sum of proton and neutron. So if I have 11 proton and 12 neutron, what will the sum? The sum will be 23. So we write Na. On the top, it will be 23 and a proton number 11. Will be any charge on this? No, because it has equal number of proton and electron. That's why no charge. Then we have argon. The sum of the proton and the neutron is 18 plus 22, which is 40. And the proton number is 18. Is any charge on argon? There should be no charge. Why? Because it has equal number of the proton and electron.
Phosphorus.
Phosphorus, so it is 15 plus 16 makes 31 and 50. It has 318. So what should be the net charge? But what negative? -1, -2, -3. Why -3 or 3 minus you can say.
-3.
Or 3 minus you can also say.
-3.
Okay. 3 minus. Three minuses. Acceptable, but 3 minus is like a standard way of writing. First we write the number, then the charge, the nature. So 13 and 10. What is the net charge? So it will be +3 or 3 plus. Is it clear? This one, the table. So you have to use a periodic table. Using a periodic table, you will check the proton numbers in here and find the symbol in the periodic table. Which atom in the table is an isotope of an atom which has a composition 11 proton, 11 electron, and 14 neutron? And give a reason. Which is an isotope here? Like isotope of this composition. We have a composition, we have 11 proton, 11
Sodium.
electron. So which is an
Yeah,
isotope?
B1.
So B is an isotope. And what is the reason for that?
The number of proton, different number of
Because same number of protons
Yes,
and
same
electrons and
number of-
different number of neutrons.
But to make a complete answer, that's right if you say same number of proton and different number of neutron, but add one more point inside the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, it has same number of proton but different number of neutron.
Sir, is it enough if I said some number of proton and electron and different number of neutron?
If it is,
It's,
no, I listened to
I said,
the other conversation as well. Yes.
is it enough if I said it has same number of proton and electron and different number of neutron?
Yes.
That's it.
But mention proton and electron,
Should be nucleus.
proton and neutron in the nucleus, electrons around the nucleus. So what is the net charge on the last one? It has 13 proton and 10 electrons. So that's why the net charge will be -3 or -3 or 3 minus.
In this picture, so with
Sorry, 3 plus. Because 13 protons are there and 10 electrons. So positive protons are positive charge and electrons are negative charge. So this will be 3 plus, which is aluminium. Okay, in this one, break. Okay.